Here's the next big project. Have you been in the other house?
We walked in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Serena, did y'all argue?
God, it's stupid.
Take that fridge. Okay, so the countertop's in here.
So that's all going to get redone. Luckily, it's small though, so it's not.
Yeah.
But it definitely needs.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to even do the bathroom.
Full paint and full flooring at a
Were
minimum.
you able to pull back any of that carpet? Do you know what's underneath it?
I'm not touching the carpet,
Yeah.
Sabrina.
To me, in pretty decent
No,
shape.
it's sturdy. It's just, if you pressure washed it, it would look really nice.
Okay, and then what about the back deck?
It looked fine to me. I think if you pressure washed it, it would be fine.
Okay.
You don't have a hand railing, so like you have a little
Yeah.
bit of a fall hazard.
So
here,
I need to probably put something over there. Okay.
Well, again, you start putting hand railing up on all this, you're $1,500, and then you know what I mean. Like, so you just gotta be really careful because you're gonna be adding a lot to the kind of scope of work. It'll need to be cut out and just replaced. That's not that big of a deal.
What do we need to replace that back door, or do you think we can just make it work to where it opens and
You might be able to make it work and kind of just paint it. But again, you run into this whole slippery slope. If you're not going to paint the whole exterior, I kind of just leave the
door.
Yeah, oh, you could.
Because I feel like the door.
Touch it up.
You could always do just the door in the frame here, but you're right. I see what you're saying. Like this. Okay. So painting the whole thing is what you're thinking. I think I can just get this color. Get them to paint match for me, and then.
And just touch it up kind of as needed. You can. It'll be fairly noticeable, but.
Yeah. It might have to work, depending on. Hold your breath. Okay, this is the other thing we need to talk about. This is a gas water heater. The gas water heater.
You want some speakers?
Yeah, I was just saying, it's all yours. Will it help lower the price with your contractors or your subs? Get them some speakers, maybe a CD collection. It looks like.
At least it's vented out.
Okay, so is it? I mean,
yeah.
Is there something to, build around it so it's not just exposed?
The things that people used to get dressed behind, like in the old days.
Yeah.
I stayed at Airbnb once that had like one of those around the water heater.
Really?
Oh, just like one of those accordion style.
Yeah.
That'd be a much cheaper option.
And like you knew it was there, but
you didn't really care. Yeah.
Serena, did y'all already pull the carpet back so you know what's underneath?
I have no idea. If you want to go ahead and give it a go, I will let you.
You have another flea video if you do that, probably.
Right.
God, that's steamy.
And you can take that fridge. Okay, so the countertop's in here. What do you think? I mean, I can't imagine it'd be that big of a cost based on
For the countertop?
It's gas.
You're going to go back with the gas stove?
I wasn't planning on changing that one out. Do I need
you're
to?
going to keep this one?
I don't know. I mean, well, what are my other options? Because obviously it needs to be cleaned, but besides that and getting some knobs,
hardware.
Okay, so it's funny. It's the first time I was here, it did. If they put them somewhere.
If it were me, I'd rent them out individually. And so they would have the option to book both if they wanted to, but especially like midterm, you could rent this midterm to one person and that one midterm to two other people and just have them completely separate units.
Okay, well then that would mean that we'd have to replace it.
Yeah.
And
I think, you're gonna spend money on it, but that to me just looks like a fire hazard.
Yeah, I was thinking I was going to get rid of it completely and just have you cap the.
You could, but then they're not gonna be able to cook in here. Yeah. So, and that's one of those weird things where we actually have people that use the stoves a lot, like in the Airbnbs, even the small ones. And we always go all electric in a lot of our units, but like this one, that wouldn't be an option.
I'm scared to.
Ben opened it earlier.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then,
obviously it's small, but it needs full paint. I would do the countertops and a sink, a new stove, new fridge. I definitely wouldn't spend the money on the small unit for a dishwasher.
No. This one's not getting a dishwasher.
And then I would.
And the stove's
the budget's going to be the biggest constraint for you. So I would for now at least, I would probably scrap the mini split idea and just do a window unit, like a nicer window unit if you wanted to.
How much is that, give or take?
probably a couple $100. We priced a remodel on a similar small, it was a little bit bigger than this, but it'd be very similar. And it needed a lot more exterior work, but I think we priced a mini split in that, so I could take a look at it. See.
Okay.
My guess is for a mini split, for the installation and the mini split, you're gonna be a couple, $3,500, something like that, probably.
Okay.
So it would be with the oil-based or shellac primer. So it literally it coats it in, it'll lock it in so you won't smell it, and it'll keep the stain from bleeding through. You can't use like a regular water-based primer. You can literally paint this 5 times with a regular water-based primer, and it'll just keep bleeding right through. So it'll be it'll look fresh and white with like yellow splotches everywhere. But the oil-based primer should lock it in.
A lot of cigarettes were smoked.
With the doors closed.
Yeah, I mean for the shower, just the labor and materials, the hard cost of the shower, you're probably gonna be, maybe $2,500 if they hook us up.
Okay.
And then you get in, you got to do a glass door.
Okay.
Unless you were okay with doing a curtain. That would save about $1,000, but.
And there's really no room.
But you're definitely, if you start tearing into this bathroom, you're definitely gonna have subfloor problems. Might as well replace the toilet. The toilet's disgusting.
Yes, absolutely.
You might as well put a vanity in here.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, and so it's just something worth talking about. But if we're doing small stuff, probably okay with doing it just as is. If we start getting into bathroom remodels and kitchen stuff, like now you start getting into the permitting process, and then now you get into, the city going to require us to bring everything up to code? And so that's just something to kind of be aware of.
If this was your rental, what would you do with this bathroom?
I'd redo it.
You what?
Yeah, but that's what we'd redo it. And if it were me, I'd redo the bathroom and the kitchen because it's so small. But again, you have additional. And now you're talking your budget for the whole project is just for this little house, and then you still got to do the stuff in the other house. So at some point, you got to either creep the budget up a little bit to match. And not saying it wouldn't be worth it. I think this area is really nice here, and if you're trying to get top dollar and good rentals, it'd probably be worth spending a little bit extra on it, in my opinion. But it's just $20,000 isn't a realistic budget for the amount of work. I think that budget we sent you originally just for the repairs was like $38,000, and that was just for repairs. That wasn't for remodel work, and that was high. So we went high with that, but it's not crazy high, if that makes sense. If I were just to guess for that full scope of work that you're looking at, you're probably closer to double. I mean, you're like double what you're going to be closer to that 40,000 probably. If you want to stick hard to that 20, then the cost. I always say the cost is what the cost is. Like you can't make it happen cheaper. We can try to negotiate with the subs a little bit. We can get the guy to do most of it, and we can do as much as we can to save money. But at some point, like the materials just cost money, and the guys just won't do it for free.
No,
they're just costs associated with it. And again, a regular bathroom remodel maybe would be $75. This is a tiny little bathroom, so it's going to be, even if we could do it for half of that, but it all starts to add up.
It's true.
You got $1,500 worth of appliances and $4,000 for a bathroom remodel, and then a couple $1,000 for flooring. You're going to want, especially if you paint inside and out, you're going to be $4,000 for the paint. And, it just really all starts to add up a little bit over time. All of our subcontractors are fully licensed, bonded, insured.
Yeah.
A lot of them have employees, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so our costs are more expensive. When I first started doing these, like I would get a handyman in here and have them do a lot of the work. Like you might be able to save costs having somebody like that do it.
Okay.
But you're gonna deal with a lot more headaches. And
you're
gonna be the one to have to manage that. And so
yeah. No, I really liked we used you on the last one, and it was seamless. So it was perfect. It was.
It is more expensive. Honestly, I'd probably focus a little bit more of the budget on this back house, but you're going to spend. My gut feeling is you're probably going to spend every bit of 20 just on this renovation if you do it right. And then the whole caveat is if you got to start bringing stuff up, if we're pulling permits for the project and you got to bring everything up to code that we're touching, because it's just going to be more expensive. Just be realistic about what it's probably going to cost, and then not have the surprises there.
No, absolutely.
And then cut stuff out.
Okay.
The bones on them, I mean, they're in good shape. The roofs look like they're in good condition. It's just everything else. They just need some love. Thanks for watching. If you're getting value out of this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and share.